Hi everyone, I'm Sasha from Toasted Productions, and today I'm gonna tell you 3 reasons why I think this camera might work better for you than the Sony A6400. So I recently picked up this Nikon Z50, and in the past I owned a Sony A6400, and while I liked the camera for a lot of the video features, it was great for video, there were a few things that I didn't like about it, and I'm going to tell you about them right now. So before I start, actually, I want to say that I'm not hating on the Sony A6400 or any of the Sonys. I think they're great cameras. But these 3 things were something that I disliked, and that's why I went with this camera. So the first reason is the ergonomics, the grip, and the size of the camera. So Sony A6400 is a pretty small camera. It's a rangefinder camera, and the grip is very shallow. When I was holding the Sony, my pinky would regularly be off the camera like this, off the body of the camera, right? And as you can see, I can hold this one and it fits in my hand pretty nicely. The grip right here is also deeper, so you have a lot of the grip there, and you can hold the camera comfortably, and you don't have to worry that it's going to fall out of your hand. The second reason are the menus. So a lot of people complain about the Sony menus, and yes, they are not the greatest, but there was one specific thing for me that ruined it with the Sony A6400. Now, on the Sony A6400, when you go back and forth between the manual mode, which is the stills mode, and the video mode, right? You set your settings for the manual mode, which is the stills mode, and then go to the video mode. It doesn't remember those settings back and forth. So every time you have to adjust those settings. So if you're shooting at 1/50th of a second video and 1/100th of a second for stills, and obviously your ISO is changing as well if you're shooting in manual ISO. So every time you switch, you have to adjust between those settings, which when I shoot, say, family events or just friends dinners and this and that, I switch between manual stills mode and video mode a lot. So every time I would have to adjust those settings back and forth. On the Nikon Z50, you have the switch right here between the stills mode and the video mode, and once you set your settings for the stills mode and you go to the video mode, when you come back to the stills mode, it remembers your settings for the stills and it remembers your settings for the video. So you can just turn that switch back and forth and you're ready to go. You don't have to change any settings. And the third reason why I like this camera better than the Sony A6400 and why it works better for me is the look that it gives you. So Sony A6400 for me has that camcorder look. Nikon is a little bit better. We all know Canon has that great look. Canon, right out of the camera, has great looking pictures and videos, and you can get a great looking, professional looking, cinematic looking video with just a few tweaks. Nikon is not as good as the Canon look, but it's pretty close to that one. Sony A6400, I found that I tweak too much in post, lose too much time in post to get that desired cinematic look. Well, with the Nikon, I don't have to spend that much time tweaking to get that great cinematic look. Now, Sony A6400 is a great camera, Sony A6500 is a great camera, and for you it might work better. Maybe you're planning to move to Sony A7 III in the future, so the Sony A6400 or Sony A6500 or 6600 would be a great bridge camera for you. If you like it, that's great. I'm just giving you reasons why this one worked better for me. So there you have it. And in the future, I will be making some B-roll to show you that this camera can do everything that Sony A6400 or 6500 can do. And if you like this video, please subscribe and like. And if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section below. And I'll see you in the next episode.